My name is John LaFronz, and I'm the general manager here at Dollar Store Services. We are the largest developer of independently owned dollar stores in North America. We've opened over 3,500 stores here in the U.S. and around the globe since 1993. I myself have been here 20 of those years, uh, working to help individuals such as yourself develop your stores. I have about, uh, I may sound tired, and that's because I have 40 years of experience in the discount retail business. I've owned my own stores. I've worked for major chains. I've done overseas buying, so I'm fairly well versed in all aspects of our business, and I absolutely love the dollar store business. So hopefully I can share some of that excitement with you this evening. I would like to take a few minutes um, and I know there's some of you that may not have spoken to anyone in our company, so I'm just going to give you a brief abbreviated version of what we do. Good evening, welcome. Um, I'll give you a quick thumbnail of what we do, and then talk about each item in a little more detail, and then we'll open up to questions. If you could mute your phone, please, until we get to the question and answer portion, ma'am. So again, we are the nation's largest developer, and we have a 100% turnkey program. It includes 7 key services that gets your store open for you. Those services are financing assistance, site location assistance. We negotiate your lease agreement for you. Good evening, welcome. We provide a complete setup of the store, including all the labor, fixtures, equipment, interior signage, and so on. We provide comprehensive training, both before and after opening. If you could mute your phone, please, be very much appreciated. Uh, as part of the package, you become part of our merchandise network, and that provides you savings of 20 to 25% on merchandise versus what you would pay as an individual going to the very same suppliers. And of course, we provide unparalleled long-term support. And I'll touch briefly on each one of those. I know you've probably seen our material on our website or received emails from us. Um, Financing, we have any number of options for funding, and they go anywhere from SBA to fixed rate, fixed term loans, business lines of credit, converting your 401k, many other options as well. When you come on board with an application, the first thing we do is assess the options that you have in financing, share those with you, and if you make a decision to go forward with one of them, or if you provide your own funding, then we move right into real estate, and we start with site location. Site location, we assign you a team of, good evening, welcome. We assign you a team consisting of a leasing manager and a site locator, and we assess and identify every location that fits the parameters that you've set in terms of geography and store size and so on. We eliminate the ones that we know will not be acceptable, and then we provide you all the information on every location that we believe is worthy of your review. You'll have access to a secured website on which you can see all the information about every location, and you can also post notes uh, as you visit those locations, give us your feedback, and of course you're talking to your leasing team every single day virtually. Um, so that's how the site location process works. As we identify rather locations that we like and that you have interest in, we start the lease negotiation process on that location. Um, and we will negotiate over 17 key provisions designed to protect you. Things such as making sure the space is compliant with Americans with Disabilities Act, that the lease has no relocation clause in it, so the landlord can't move you to another space without your approval. Uh, Dark clause, where if the anchor tenant, like the grocery store or Target or Walmart, closes, you're protected. You have outs in your lease, and many, many other provisions as well. Um, our leasing managers each negotiate over 100 leases every year, so they're very experienced, very skilled in negotiating retail leases. And as we finalize a lease, we review it with you, answer any questions, of course, that you might have, and then hopefully we finalize the location and we move to store setup. At that point, you move to our operations department. Good evening, welcome. And In your store setup, again, we provide all the store fixtures and counters, all the merchandise, interior signage, all the labor to put everything together, everything you need within the retail space of the store. It takes us about a week after arrival to set up your store. Our crew arrives on a Monday morning. We start receiving all the store equipment, setting it up. Merchandise starts arriving Monday evening, and we're stocking the store as the merchandise arrives. And by Friday, you are ready to open. Now, between when you sign your lease and when we go out to set up your store, you're working with our trainer and a merchandise manager to create your opening orders, all of which you will approve, and doing the training, which we right now do online and over the phone at your convenience. Because of COVID-19 situation, we can't do training in-house here. And then, of course, on site, the setup supervisor will review merchandising of your store. You'll be working with him as he sets up the shelving. He'll show you kind of how we stock and why we stock in a certain way. He will also do a retraining on the cash handling equipment so that you are 100% ready when your store opens. And again, that process takes about 7 days. Then, as part of our package that I might have mentioned earlier, you become part of our merchandise network. We have over 85 suppliers located strategically around the United States to ensure fast delivery times once you place an order. I visit all of our suppliers once every 6 to 8 weeks. I hand select the best new items, negotiate the prices, and then we provide that information to you. So you always have access to new merchandise, which is important in our business, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Good evening, welcome. It's very difficult to buy merchandise from a catalog or on the internet because you really can't assess the quality of the item, the quality of the packaging, and so on. And that's why we travel to visit all of our suppliers, and we select only the best merchandise, and if I can't negotiate the right price on that product, you will never see it. So it's very, very important. Otherwise, you'd have to spend a lot of time traveling to the suppliers, working their showrooms, and it would involve so much time away from your store. So we do that work for you. And again, being part of our network, you will save 20 to 25% on merchandise because we deliver so much volume to our suppliers in a given week or month. So you get the pricing same as would a large chain of stores going to these same suppliers. Now, once your store is open, you will stay on our trainer's desk for the first 3 to 4 months that you're open, and she will be in contact with you every day as you get into the operation of your store. She'll help you write replenishment orders, get you ready for every season and holiday, help you source product that your customers may be asking for, all with the goal of maximizing your sales. She'll be tracking your sales by category with you, helping you grow the sales in each category. And so that process goes on again for the first 3 to 4 months. If at the end of that time we feel and you feel that you've really got your arms around the store and you're headed in the right direction, everything's going well, you're very comfortable, then we move your store to a long-term coordinator's desk. And that person provides that same level of support, somewhat less intense. She will or he will contact you several times a week, but they are always available to you. You can call any time with any request for assistance that you might need, and we're here to help you with that. So we quite honestly never go away. And all of this starts with a simple application that your sales representative can help you fill out. It takes about 10 minutes. And again, the first step is to see if you can get funding, and then we move forward from there. Now, some exciting things that are going on in our industry that I just want to share with you briefly. I know we've all been dealing with the pandemic, the COVID-19 situation that seems like it's been here forever, even though it's only been February or March. Our stores throughout were deemed to be essential businesses. And by that I mean when a lot of other retailers had to close in a lot of cities and states, our stores did not. Because we carried product that people needed and had to have. Paper products, health and beauty aids, sanitizers, face masks, all the items that were difficult to find in the grocery stores, especially at the beginning. We had that product and we had it throughout. There was really no break in our supply chain. So So it was a great advantage for our store owners to be able to stay open through all of this. And in fact, while a lot of retailers struggled or unfortunately went out of business, the dollar stores grew almost exponentially. In fact, at the height of the pandemic, for the second quarter, Dollar General reported the largest sales increase year over year in their history. They're up over 22%, almost 22%, I'm sorry, during that second quarter. And that's what we saw throughout the year. There was an article or a feature on CNBC a week ago about Wall Street, and they were assessing different retail segments. And what they said was that investors universally know that dollar stores are going to grow even more aggressively in terms of sales in 2021 than they did in 2020. Dollar General stock, Dollar Tree stock hit all-time highs in the history of their companies last year to close out the year. So the dollar store business is stronger than ever. There are no shortage of good locations. In fact, unfortunately, because a lot of businesses did not survive, there are many excellent locations available to us. Landlords are making very aggressive lease packages because they want quality tenants, and they want tenants whose businesses are pandemic proof, I guess, for lack of a better term. And they know that our stores are that. So it's an opportune time to be getting into this business. It's always grown. It's never stopped growing. It is virtually the strongest retail segment in the economy and has been for a number of years. The dollar store business generates in excess of $60 billion a year. And we know that there are different formats that work in different areas. And you might be aware, and if not, I'll share this very quickly. We have several different formats. We have a dollar-only store, which is similar to a Dollar Tree. We do a Dollar Plus store, which is like or similar to a Family Dollar or a Dollar General, where you have dollar product and you have product that sells for more than $1. And our exciting new concept that we've been doing for the last number of months is a 1, 2, 3 store, where everything sells for $3 or less, and about half the store sells for $1. So what we did, we've got a store that has the absolute best dollar product available, and then we took the best of the items that sell for $3 and under and rolled that into that merchandise mix too. So this store is totally unique in virtually every market. You can compete very aggressively with the Dollar Trees and the Family Dollars of the world because you're different than anyone else. And of course, we also do a big box dollar store over 10,000 square feet, which is like a mini grocery. And those are the formats that we develop. And as you get into real estate and we start looking at locations, we'll assess every location, and you and I will have a conversation, and I can share with you my thoughts about which format might be the best in any given location. So that's part of the process as we get into real estate and start working. It's kind of interesting that this 1, 2, 3 store, as again, we've been doing it for about, I guess, totally about 9 or 10 months now. Dollar Tree recently announced what they're calling Dollar Tree 2.0, which is in essence a Dollar Plus store. They're going to have Dollar and Dollar Plus product. But we've been doing Dollar Plus stores for 15 years or more, so they're finally catching up with us, I guess you might say. So that is the long and the short of our business. You know, one thing that we do that a lot of dollar stores, independents can't do and don't do, is we add a lot of what I call revenue generators. There are add-ons that you can add to your store, either when you open or later, that create additional sales, profits, and revenue, and brings increased traffic to your store. And those are things like key making, faxing, participating in the EBT program, which is the food stamp program, and many, many others. There's so many ways to customize your store. First, to make it unique, and then to drive extra business to your store. In fact, we have some stores that are now looking to put in mailbox units so they can accept mail deliveries. A lot of people are very much concerned about identity theft and have been for a while. So you can put a bank of mailboxes in your store, receive mail, rent the mailboxes, so you get revenue from the mailbox rentals, and that customer that's rented that box comes into your store 3 or 4 times a week to pick up their mail. So every time they do, you have the opportunity to sell them more product. So that's always what I look for, are add-ons that create traffic, create profit, and again, don't take up very much space as well. So that is dollar store services in a nutshell. We've been doing this for many years. We work very hard to find the best possible locations, and it's a partnership throughout. We work together with you on all aspects. At the end of the day, you are the boss, you are the store owner, and all final decisions are yours. But we're going to give you all the information we can to help you make the best business decisions. And with that, what I would like to do is, good evening, welcome. With that, I would like to,
Hi.
hi, I want to share one more thing very quickly. Uh, in the email invitation that we sent to you, there was an offer for $2,000 in free merchandise when we open your store. And that offer is good if you submit your application and deposit by next Friday. So you have plenty of time. You can talk to your sales representative, ask questions, and if you decide to move forward, then that would be available to you as well. What I'd like to do now is kind of open it up to questions, and I'd ask everybody to be as orderly as possible. There are a lot of us on the call tonight, so I'll try and acknowledge each question as quickly as I can. A lot of times the questions that you might have, somebody else might ask as well. So now I'm ready to take those questions, and I look forward to them. So who's first up?
Okay, the question I have is concerning payroll and employees. Y'all help us with the finances, that part of the payroll, inventory, and employment.
Okay, good questions. In training, of course, we teach you how to screen and hire employees, what to look for, what to guard against. We also will create a schedule, a sample work schedule for you based on the size of your store, so you know how to staff the store initially. And as far as if part of your question is about how do you generate payroll checks and so forth, how do you handle that? Most stores will use a company that can do that work for you. It's very inexpensive. And those are things we talk about in training. Yeah, and they have all different types of packages. You know, they'll actually do your sales tax returns. They'll do your weekly paychecks, all of those things. Do your W-2s at the end of the year for employees and so on. So yeah, once you get into training, we'll get all that information to you.
Okay. Also, I understand the legal structure. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. You know,
okay.
So it'd be best to have an LLC, right? And even the LLC that I'm coming up under, can it be an enterprise like Caparachi Famous Dollar Store?
Yeah.
You know what the LLC? Okay.
Yeah, it can be anything. The LLC can be called anything you choose to call it. And then usually what most people do is they'll do a DBA. They'll file a doing business as for their store. So yeah, so it would be like DBA. So you have your LLC. It's Chicago Rocks LLC, and then you would open your store as a Chicago Dollar. So it'd be Chicago Rocks LLC, doing business as Chicago Dollar.
Okay, so y'all can help me how to form that. Help me add the entity to the LLC. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, you can do that anytime at all.
Okay, I got one more question I want to ask.
Okay.
The question is concerning the credit score.
Mm-hmm.
I have a job and everything, and I know my credit score is like 599, but I just joined the credit union. I've been working for like a year, and this is something I really want to do. Do y'all have? I understand what my next step will be as far as building my credit. Do y'all have credit advisors too, though?
We do, and we have credit repair through one of the companies that we work with that can help you with that. And I'm glad you asked that question, because we now have, and this just actually came around in the last couple of days, and it was too late for me to get it in the email. We now have a company that can remove bankruptcies. So if you have a bankruptcy and it's more than 1 year old and you've been holding back, you know it takes 7 or 10 years to fall off, and it really impedes your ability to get credit or get a loan. We have a company that can remove those now. It's amazing. And Takes a little bit of time. Takes about 3 to 6 months at the outside, but at the end of it, bankruptcy is wiped away, and you can move forward with your life and hopefully build a store at the same time.
Yeah, I got one more question. I just had one more question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, I got the question. I just said it.
It's all right. We'll be here for a while.
That's all right. I wrote the numbers down, John. My name is Evan. And okay, yeah. The question is, so we'll be dealing with business credit and not personal credit, right?
Yes. Yeah. In
Cool.
most cases, business credit. Sometimes it's going to be personal credit. The way the financing works is once you make your application and fully refundable deposit, within 48 hours, you'll be talking to our finance department, and they'll know within another day what type of funding you qualify for, what the terms are, and so on. So we'll get those answers very quickly, and then you can decide if you want to go forward or take your deposit back and come back another day. But that's the absolute first thing we do. So within 48 hours, you're going to know what you qualify for.
Okay, this is the question I want to ask. Okay, do we have to use your financing, or can we reach out to hard lenders on our own? And
sure.
As long as we.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no requirement that you work with lenders that we have. In fact, either way is just
right. Okay, cool.
Great.
I'm just.
Hey, John, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for the information.
No worries.
About the location. Do we have to choose, or are you going to choose for us?
No, what we do, and that's a good question. So let me take a minute to talk about that if I can. It's a good question.
Sure.
Once you move into real estate, we assign a team to work with you here in our office, a site locator and a leasing manager, and they'll get on the phone with you and they'll talk to you about areas that you would like to see your store placed in. And maybe you'll give them the outer limits. Maybe you'll say 15 miles from my home or 10 miles from my home, or I want to be in these 3 communities, whatever that might be. Then they'll go to work and they're going to identify every location in those areas in the size range that you're looking to develop. Then they take those and they eliminate the ones that we know will not work for you. Maybe the rent is way too high and we know we're not going to negotiate it down, or there's a competitor too close, or the shopping center is not very busy. So we eliminate all those that are on the margins, and then the ones that we believe have interest and will have interest for you, we load all the information about them onto a website that we call EasyTrack that we developed ourselves. And you will be able to log into that website and you'll be able to see everything there is to know about every location that we think you should look at. The population at 1, 3, and 5 miles, the demographics, the ethnicity, the household income, maps of the shopping center, maps showing where all the competitors are, and much, much more. And then we're going to ask you to go out and visit those locations because you're going to see things that we can't see. For example, you may get to a location and see that, oh, gee, the lighting at night is not very good. I don't think this is a safe place. Or the shopping center isn't well maintained. The parking lot is not in the best of condition, and so on. So we'll ask you to give us your feedback, and then the locations that you like and that we like, we'll negotiate on.
Sure.
And we'll negotiate on usually 2 or 3, sometimes more. So when we get to the end zone, so to speak, you're going to have 2 or 3 at least options to choose from, and then we'll help you evaluate each of them and see which might be the best for you. But ultimately, it's always going to be your decision. We're going to give you all the information. We're going to help you weigh one against the other, but ultimately, it's your store, and we want you to make that final decision.
Yeah, so when you mentioned the amount for the 1,000 square foot, how do you evaluate what is the appropriate square footage, let's say, for where you live? Is that something that they can assist you in determining what's the best, or is it based on what you want to carry?
It's a very good question. Typically, the way that kind of happens is the first thing that we do is if you're going to look to secure some financing, the amount of financing that's going to determine the outer limits of what store size you can develop. And then what we do is, say, for example, that it looks like you can be funded for a 3,000 square foot store. So we know that's the high limit. So then we go into the market that you're looking at. Then we start to look at spaces between 1,000 and 3,000, and we see where the best fit is. Where's the least amount of competition? Where is the opportunity for you to make the most amount of money? And sometimes a smaller store can do just as well as a larger store if you can find the right rent factor. So that's kind of how we work. Once we know the absolute max that you can do, then we'll work within your market area in those size ranges, and we'll determine where the best fits are.
And do you have merchandising layouts? So, like, if you said I was going to do 1,500, you have a specific merchandise layout of 1,500 square feet?
Yeah, in a general sense. So and the answer ultimately is going to be yes. But what we do is we custom write the orders for each and every store. So let me explain how that process works for just a minute. Once you've signed your lease, you're ready to start your training. You're also going to be talking to our merchandise manager, and she's the one that's actually going to create your opening store orders. So what she will do is before she calls you, she will have in front of her all the information about your specific location, all the demographic information, the competition, the co-tenants within the shopping center. She'll know everything there is possible to know about that location. Then she'll get on the phone with you, and she'll talk through the location, and you may have some special needs that you might have identified. Maybe there's a senior center close by or a couple of high schools that we might want to merchandise to an extent. So she'll take all that information, and then she'll write a recommended set of opening orders. She'll then send them to you, and you and she will review them, and you have full autonomy at that point to make any changes, additions, deletions that you would like to make before we finalize those orders. If somebody has their phone off mute, can you hold it off on mute until you have the question? Thank you. So that's kind of how that process works.
Okay.
Then,
Yeah, that
I
answers
have
my
a
question.
question.
well, 1 second, sir. And then from that point, what we do is then we create the merchandise map or the merchandise plan, so to speak, for your particular store.
Okay, yeah, because I was thinking that certain areas you might want to go heavier or lighter in certain things. So that answers that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all custom tailored.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Next question?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I would like. Is there any way that you can show us a physical location, like depending on the area that we're in? Is there a location that you can send us to so we can see what the stores actually look like? I know everybody's. I'm thinking that everybody's store will be different. I don't know if the setup is the same or how does that work?
Well, number one, the stores are similar. They're not all the same, based on store size. But having said that, we format them basically the same way. In terms of seeing a store, you'd want to talk to your sales representative here. Usually they can coordinate that, if we have a store in your area, and there's no guarantee that we would, but generally speaking, we can make those arrangements, absolutely.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And if we can't, I can also send you sets of opening photos of recent stores, which gives you a pretty good grasp of what the stores look like.
That'll be nice too.
Yeah, just if so, who are you working with here? Do you know? Do you have the name or?
I forgot what his name. Let me.
Oh, and that's okay.
I forgot what his name was.
Give me a call tomorrow, and we'll run it down for you, and we'll take care of that for you.
From this number that we're on now?
No, call me at 702
702
637
637
3389.
3389. Okay,
and actually, if you got an email or a text from us about this teleseminar, my number should be on there too.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
And don't forget, I just want to remind everybody while we're talking, there is an incentive. If you do your application and deposit before next Wednesday, you get, I think, $3,000 in additional merchandise when you open your store. So that's a nice little incentive if you decide you want to investigate going forward. Next question.
How much is that? How much is that?
Can you say the number again, please?
What's the turnaround?
Well, okay, 2 questions. Let me give the number again first. It's 702 637 3389.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. And then your question, sir, was about how long does it take to get the store open?
Yes, and what's the turnaround?
Okay, it typically, from the time you start working real estate, you go through the financing process, that can take a couple of weeks. From the time you get into real estate, it normally takes about 45 to 60 days to finalize a location, get the lease done, and so forth. It can be quicker, but historically it's about 45 days. And then we can get your store open in less than 30 days or easily in 30 days. The only wild card there, so to speak, is does the landlord have work to do in the space before he can turn it over to you? But typically 45 or so days in real estate, another 30 days after that to get the store open.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes, sir.
One that was talking about the credit. I'd like
Yes.
to know when can I apply for the dollar store and deal with the credit at the same time?
Well, you can. You can just call your representative here in our office. He can get everything rolling for you. He'll do the application with you, and you go right into.
I don't have no or anything. I'll pay for the application. How much is the application?
The application requires a $500 deposit, which is fully refundable for any reason.
Okay.
If you decide not to go forward, or you can't get finance, and it's actually fully refundable up until you sign your lease.
Okay, cool. I got the $500.
Okay, yeah, just call your rep or call me tomorrow, and we'll get everything set up for you.
I have a quick question, sir.
One second, sir. What was your name?
My name is Evan Woods.
Woods? Yeah, give me a call in the morning, and we'll get it set up.
All right,
Thank you very much.
I have a quick question, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The initial fee you have suggested like 76,000 or whatever. The approximate, I think I heard
got my order,
Go ahead.
The approximate value to fill the store for the 1,000 square feet would be around like $20,000 more dollars, or
No, actually the inventory, the merchandise is included in that 76.9. So we will fill your store.
okay. And suppose if I have so every like
Sir, hang on just one second. I'm gonna ask everybody to mute their phone, please, right now. Unbelievable. Ma'am, can you please mute your phone? Please mute your phone right now, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, your question, sir? Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying, like the whatever fee you are telling me that this is the fee, initial fee, that I don't know, some disturbance keeps coming in, but
hello, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
I have one question.
Whatever.
Excuse me.
So
There's a lot of noise.
I don't know.
Yes, there is.
I'll just keep on going. So initial
Okay, go ahead.
fee, whatever you told us, that 76 to 79,000.
Yes.
That would include the filling up the store. Will that be 1,000 square feet store, or?
Yes. In fact, no matter what size store
how much?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that fee is for like 1,000 square feet. So like how much of that amount is contributing towards the material in the store, or for the items in the store?
Okay, in the 1,000 square foot, you would get $16,000 worth of merchandise at cost, which is about $30,000 at retail.
Okay, and like approximate value of like 1,000 square feet store, what would be the approximate revenue or a profit margin on that $16,000
Okay,
material?
fair question. The average cost.
I know it depends about the area and yeah.
Yeah, no, and you're correct, but the easy answer, or the easiest answer, is the average cost of goods is going to be about 54 to 55 cents in a dollar store. So your gross profit is going to be about 45% or 45 cents on a dollar sale. And then, of course, your sales volume, as you say, is going to be determined by where the store is and lots of other factors.
So, and whenever you say that 54, is that the buying price, or that includes my maintenance of the store and salary of the employee and everything?
That is just the cost of the merchandise.
So if I merchandise 55, and if I include my salary for maintenance and rent, I might left with another 20 to 25% maybe?
Yeah, something like that. It'll vary a little bit, but you should net out in the range of 15 to 20% after you take out all your expenses.
So I have one more question here. Hello.
Yes,
so
go ahead.
What is the minimum sale we should make it to get a minimum profit for a month, like a minimum sale per 1,000 square feet store?
Okay, that's a hard question to answer, because what we don't know is what are your expenses. How much is your rent and so on. But let me say this. One thing that I always do, and this generally is the best way to go at this. Once you're in real estate and we've identified a location and we have negotiated down so you know what the final rent is, and we can estimate your other expenses, your utilities and labor and so forth. What I always do, and what I can certainly do for you, is I'll put together kind of an estimated P&L type worksheet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So is there any store in California?
I'm sorry?
So, like in like Bay Area, is there any store recently opened?
I would
set it up by you.
Sir, please mute your phone. Whoever's speaking in Spanish, Espanol, please mute your phone. To answer your question, sir, I don't know.
We want to have we want to go there and have a look at it
Sure.
in Bay Area, basically in California.
Okay, if you would, I'll tell you what, I don't know right off the top of my head as we sit here, but if you can call your rep tomorrow, have him get a hold of me and let me see what we have for you to look at.
Okay.
Do you have someone?
Okay, and what would be the profit margin?
How can you know, how do you know your rep?
Sir, you had a question about profit margin?
No, I have a question about the representative. How can we get a rep?
Okay, if you're not speaking to someone, what I suggest is if you can call me tomorrow. What is your number? And I'll call you.
Yeah, 267.
Mm-hmm.
441.
441.
Yeah, 0263.
0263. And you're in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
And what was your?
I'm the East Coast.
East Coast. What was your first name, sir?
Sembu, SEMBU.
Got it. All right. I will have someone call you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, call me tomorrow because I want to pay my franchise fee tomorrow for the $500. I'm paying tomorrow.
Very good.
Yeah,
I will do so.
So I have a follow-up question to that. Is like,
yes.
What is like approximate, if you can share any example of any of the stores, what is like approximate value of profit margin around it for the 1,000 square feet store?
Okay, well
if you can share any examples, like
Sure.
What are we expecting here?
Well, the average cost of goods, as I mentioned, is about 54 to 55 cents. So you have a gross margin on product of 45% or 45 cents. The stores are independent, so unlike a franchise, they don't report their sales or their profits or any other operational numbers to us. But anecdotally, you should net out about 15% or so. It'll vary a little bit based on how you operate the store and some other factors. Can be better, but I think that's a reasonable expectation. 15 to maybe 20% at the outer limits.
That's a profit, right? 15 to 20. That's the profit we are talking, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, we will do a worksheet for you. Just a moment, ma'am. We'll do a question. We will do a worksheet for you before you ever sign a lease.
How long
Okay.
is the training?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, go ahead. Go ahead, young lady.
Okay, so it's pertaining to the guy that was talking about the employees. Now, as far as with the employees, once you open up your store, that's coming out of your own, like your own money,
Yes.
not the
Yeah.
76,000.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Yeah, that's your expense.
Okay, so basically with the 76,000, will only be just to set you up. Everything after that is you.
That is correct.
Okay.
So here, I have one more question. Like, is that the product range is stick to whatever you guys are setting up, or can we get any other products like you can sell through this store? Any limitation on the product range?
No, none at all. It's your store, so you can put in whatever product you choose. In fact, I was talking to a gentleman earlier today. He's doing his store, and he's going to put a section of African American grocery items because that's something that's in high demand in his particular market. So no, there's no restrictions on what you put in your store.
Okay. And in the similar, like for example, most of the in dollar store items are seasonal items. Like for example, this is the like summer, there are gardening items or something.
Sure.
So if we get a overstock, sometimes like overstock, so is that merchant able to take the return? Like for example, if you get a more stock than the expected?
Normally no. Once you buy the merchandise, you own it. So what we always do is that, and that's a very good question. The first year of operation, our merchandise coordinator here is going to work very closely with you on your seasonal orders, because her goal is going to be to have you sell out and make excellent notes for the next coming year. Because it's a new store, you don't know exactly how some seasons will respond. And a lot of times the season is long enough that you can go back and reorder. Summer, certainly spring and summer, you have the opportunity to go back and reorder some of those items. But our goal in the first year is to have you pretty much sell out of your seasonal goods in the season and make excellent notes. Because if take Christmas as one example, greeting cards and gift wrap and things like that. Greeting cards should sell out by the 15th of the month because people have to mail them. So if you sell out of greeting cards on the 1st or the 5th of December, we know you probably could have sold half again as many. So that'll be your seasonal note for greeting cards for next year. I have to buy up. If you sell out of gift wrap and bows on the 15th of December, well, people start wrapping their gifts around the 15th to the 20th and so on. So we know that you could probably double that order because most of the sales happen right towards the end of the month before the Christmas holidays. So yeah, you cannot return the product. So our goal is always to have you sell through in year one, and just have a bang up year in year two with your seasons.
Okay, so do y'all do the 1, 2, 3 stores, the $1, $2, $3 store too?
Yes, we do. We do a dollar only. We do a dollar plus, which is kind of like a Family Dollar or a Dollar General. Then we also do the 1, 2, 3 and the 1, 3, 5 store. And either one of those are great options because they're totally unique in almost every market that you would go to. Very, very popular right now.
Is it pretty much
that is nothing but the 99 cents only, right? The brand name is it?
Is it still the same financial structure as with the denomination? Okay.
Yes,
cool.
the financial structure is the same. And then to your question, sir, about the 99-cent store.
Mm-hmm. So is it the same, right? Whatever 1, 2, 3 is the same as 99 cent brand name, or
no?
The brand name is look like.
It's different. 99 only. As you know, they sell products for more than $1.
Right.
They used to be only 99, but they've expanded that. I would say let me try and describe our 1, 2, 3 and the 1, 3, 5 store for you. What we've done is we've taken the best dollar items and we take about 50% or 60% of the store and fill it with those. Then the balance of the store is filled with the best items that sell between $1 and $5. And what we've done over the last few years, I've done a lot of research, and Dollar General even though, take them as an example, Family Dollar is the same, but they have products that sell for 10, 15, $20, but where they do their volume is between $1 and $5. So we have the best of the dollar product and the best of the 5 and under product. It gives you incredible horsepower in terms of the sales for your store, makes you like nobody else, and it's much more profitable than a dollar only store can be, because now your profit margins are about 50%, about 5% better than dollar. So it's always a good item to consider. The dollar store has incredible power, but having the key dollar items in a dollar plus store gives you kind of the same horsepower.
Oh, okay. So that means like we can get the fresh vegetables and fruits also, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Hi, I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Yolanda. So I really didn't hear the part when the young lady was asking the question as far as when we're doing, I guess, like the rest of the store.
Yes.
That'll something that'll be coming out of our pocket. So we pretty much like probably have to, I guess, like we can do financing again on that, or we just pretty much have to pay everything, I guess, to fund the rest of the store out of our pocket. Is that what you was asking?
Yeah, in fact, short answer is yes, but that's a good question. And let me say this: when you are in financing, in our finance department, before they will move you into real estate, what they do is they do a kind of a worksheet, and they estimate how much you're going to need for your rent deposits and your first month's rent, because you do it just like if you're renting an apartment, you have to give them a deposit and a 1 month security. Then they'll also estimate what your utility deposits might be, an amount of working capital, and so on. So we don't want you to go into real estate knowing you just have $76,900. We want to make sure that you have enough cash on hand over and above to fund your store until it gets off the ground. So, ma'am, if you have someone in the background talking, could you please mute your phone? Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
I know. I'm very sorry. Anyway, so what we will do, take this as an example. If you're going to do that 1,000 square foot store for $76,900, we would want you to have another $15,000 or so on top of that through the lender, so that you have funds set aside for those other expenses as your store gets off the ground. Now, once you're open and you've been open for a couple of weeks, now the store is generating revenue. So when your rent comes due, you're going to be paying your rent out of the proceeds that you're getting from the store through the register, and you're going to be rebuying merchandise and taking home some money for yourself as well. And most often, when we negotiate a lease, we're going to secure at least 2 or 3 and sometimes more months of free rent. So for the first few months that you're open, you don't have to pay rent. And the reason is exactly what you asked about. We want to make sure that your store is up and going before you're obligated to pay rent. So you have to build up a little war chest.
Okay. So that's what I was just trying to get an understanding of that, so I can
Understood.
know, as far as moving forward.
Good
Thank you so
question.
much.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes. So with this services, how long you guys are going to give the guidance or services? Is it a limited period of time or?
No, unlimited. Until you tell us to go away, we won't go. We won't go away. We have stores that have been open for 8, 9, 10 years, and we still talk to every week.
Okay. Any like? Oh.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Once that the initial setup is done, is there anything like every year we need to pay for the services or anything like that?
No, you pay us one time for the size store that you select, and you never pay us again.
Okay.
You can send
me
some.
The initial setup. Initial setup includes all the like the store setup means including the racks and design or everything, right? We
Everything.
don't have.
Includes the merchandise, all the store fixtures and equipment, all the interior signage, the cash registers, the checkout, all the inventory. It includes we send a crew out to receive everything and put it all together for you. It takes us about a week once we arrive at your location. Of course, it also includes the real estate work that we do to find your location, negotiate the lease, and all that. So it's and then of course the back end support and access to our supplier network, which is so important.
And do you guys have something like that in Nigeria?
I would like to ask the question now.
Just a moment. We do store. Yeah, we've done several stores. And one moment, please. Yeah, we just finished doing a store in Nigeria about a month and a half ago.
And what location? What location is that? The one that you guys just did in Nigeria?
They're still finishing setting it up. It's going to be in Lagos. Probably won't open for another 2 months. They're having some other issues there right now.
But you don't know the location?
I don't have it sitting in front of me at this moment, but if you call me, I can get you that information.
Yeah, I would like to know the information, at least for me to check those things out
Sure.
before I make any moves.
Absolutely. Give me a call tomorrow, and I'll get it for you.
So, John,
They had a lady.
I'd like to know what's the interest rate on the $76,000.
On the loan? On the loans?
Yes.
It's totally dependent on your credit profile, so I can't answer that, but you'll have that answer within 48 hours of coming on board.
Can you give me a range?
I wish I could. It's not my area of expertise, so whatever I tell you is going to be wrong.
It's based on your credit.
Yes.
I got that part.
Yeah, no, I really can't give you a range. It's not part of what I do. So the best thing to do is to talk to someone in finance when you come on board.
Okay. That means if I want to open a store right now in Nigeria, right? That means how much is the total going to be? Because you say you're already doing stuff over there in Lagos. That means the people that have already started, how much do they pull down and things like that?
Okay. Well, let me give you a quick, easy answer. We can't fund a store that's built outside of the United States. So you have to come in with your own money. They did a 3,000 square foot store, 3,500 square foot store, and they bought a lot of extra merchandise. So whatever I tell you they did is going to be meaningless to you. And I wouldn't want to give you that information because it's really kind of proprietary to them. But you can look on our website. You can see our store sizes, and those are basically the prices that it would be in Nigeria. Short answer is that what we would do is if there are some services that we can't provide, like real estate, I always want to make sure that we work a custom price for every overseas store because there's so many variables.
Right.
But we do that all the time.
And the stuff that you guys gonna be providing for the store, right? I mean, where is those items gonna be coming from? Is it gonna be coming from United States, or
Yes.
where is those items gonna be coming from, or is it gonna be coming from Nigeria, like India, or outside the country?
They come from the United States, and then in most countries, people will put local product in their stores as well. So it'll be kind of a mix.
Okay, so.
Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So do y'all have any dollar store locations in Chicago that y'all been successful with?
I don't have the store list in front of me. I would expect that we do.
Okay, because I just want to wrap that.
Yeah, give me a call tomorrow, and I'll put you in touch with a rep, and we'll see if we can make those arrangements for you.
Oh, that'd be a great thing. That'd be great.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So basically, when you're in a lease negotiation process, now before we go through with everything, do you consult with the customer? Like, say for example, I go through with everything, and y'all doing y'all lease negotiation, and for example, they might say $5,000 a month for the lease, and I feel like that's too much money. Would it be like a back and forth thing?
No, in fact, that's a good question. Your you're fully involved throughout those negotiations. In fact, once you find a location, one of the locations we found that you like, we're going to first submit a letter of intent on that location, which is telling the landlord, we like your location, we're willing to pay this much rent. We're going to talk to you about that before we ever submit that letter, so you're in agreement with it. Then, when the landlord comes back, as they usually do, and they say, well, we can't accept that offer, it's a negotiation, but we can accept this. You're gonna see that, and we're gonna talk through that and strategize as to, okay, we said we would offer 12. The landlord says he wants 15. Should we go back at 13? What do you think? And we want to make sure that you're in agreement. You're fully involved in those negotiations because it's your store. So yeah, at every step down the road, you're fully involved.
Yeah, because I want to make sure that I'm able to pay that a month. Because I heard you say that y'all can negotiate the months of free rent.
Yes, usually so.
So anything after that, I just want to make sure I'm able to keep up the payment for the rent.
What we'll do too, as I mentioned, I don't know if it's noisy, and I apologize. If people that are not on asking a question, please mute your phone. Thank you. What I was going to say is that before you ever sign your lease, we'll do a worksheet for that store to kind of estimate your sales and profits for a year and 3 years, so you can feel comfortable signing that lease.
Okay, and as far as technical support and stuff like that, say for example, anything with the registers going down or glitches in the system, will we be able to contact you guys? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can always contact us, but the registers are a good example. There is, I think, 24-hour tech support for the cash handling equipment, but we're always available too, certainly.
Okay.
And I apologize to everyone for the noise. If it's so easy to mute your phone, and I apologize that hasn't happened tonight.
Last question is.
Oh, there's a young lady. You go first. Go ahead.
Any of these stores that you set up for $76,000 come with a cooler?
They do not, but we can help you source coolers, and they're relatively inexpensive. We source them by market because they're expensive to ship, and we can help you with that.
I understand if the store is not having cooler, it's that's a part of that general.
Oh yeah, no. So we will make sure that you have one. We'll source one for you. Also, we normally can arrange for Coke and Pepsi to put their own coolers in your store too, as long as you buy product from them. Which is a nice advantage too.
That's actually a good question. That's actually a good question because I want to know something like that as well.
Give me a chance now, please. Listening to everybody, I would like to ask another question, please.
Yes, go ahead.
My other question is, if we get these dollar stores set up, is that be able to get the lotto, selling lottos and tickets and
Sure, it depends on your area. We would have no restrictions with you doing that, and a lot of our stores do. But every area is different in terms of what the requirements are. But yeah, absolutely, we'll help you do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great thing to have.
Okay,
and I have a question.
I got a question too.
Sir, there's a young lady already talking. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah.
So that was a good question that she.
I'll also get those lotto tickets, and then you could sell whatever other product you wanna add to your merchant that you have from the dollar stores.
Absolutely.
And but the question, this is a very important question because I was doing some research. I was told that for instance, you can't set up a dollar store with a cooler next to like a Publix or another business that like for instance Publix or Walmart or any area that you have any one of those stores there, you will not be able to put a cooler. Is that true?
Well, it's a little bit more than that. When you go into a grocery anchored center, some grocery stores will have restrictions on what you can and can't carry, and some grocery stores will have restrictions against a dollar store, period. So The first thing we do when we look at a location is we talk to the landlord to see if there are any restrictions, because if there are, we don't want to even pursue that location. Sometimes other retailers in a center will have restrictions. For example, um, uh, some shopping centers will have a Hallmark store, and they will say you can't sell gift wrap, or Michael's may say you can't sell artificial flowers. So and some have no restrictions at all. Most don't. So that's the first question that we ask before we start to look at a location, is because we can't, if you can't do your business in there, we're not going to pursue that location.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you
All
bet.
right, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
Okay, and I had a question. It's similar to what she was asking about the coolers.
Yes.
Now, I wasn't aware. That they wouldn't have coolers in the stores. So basically, that would be additional money out of our pocket that we have to install coolers
That would
if
be
we
correct.
decide to have coolers in our store.
That would be correct. And as I said, Coke and Pepsi typically will provide coolers at no charge for their product. And if you buy a two-door cooler, which I always recommend, you can find them used for normally about $1,200 or so. There's good used equipment available pretty much everywhere.
And do y'all
Hello,
layouts
I
have
have a
layouts
question.
for I wasn't finished. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, ma'am.
Do y'all layouts have layouts for Frito-Lay as well, like the chip section and stuff like
Yes.
that?
Yeah, well, we have our dollar store brands of chips, but you can also put in Frito-Lay. You can put in Little Debbie, rack programs like that, and we help you find all of that.
Okay.
Yes, I
Just
I have a question.
Sir, just 1 second, please, if I can ask you to hold on for just a minute. Whoever has children in the background, I'm going to ask you again to please mute your phone. It's impossible for everyone else to hear.
Or hang up.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So y'all do deal with the vendors with Don and Brown Street, the credit bureau?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, sir? You broke up a little bit.
Y'all do deal with the vendors that deal with Don and Bradstreet Credit Bureau?
Yes, typically we do.
Don and Bradstreet deal with Business Bureau, you know, business credit, you know?
Yes, typically we do.
Okay. Cool. I'm cool with you.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. I have
Yes,
a
go ahead.
question. You have some stores open in North Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. We can visit it, or we can talk with the owner for.
Yes,
we
once
need something real.
Once you speak to your representative, he can probably make those arrangements for you. As we sit here, I don't have a store list in front of me, so I can't tell you where we do and don't have stores, but it's part of our process. Typically, we have you talk to some owners first. Then if you need to make a visit, we can arrange for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions?
A quick question.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
So, you said the financing with the 1,000 square foot. You say it's 100% financing, or do you have to come up with the down payment on it?
It depends on your credit profile. Most often we can get up to 100% financing, and often that can include working capital as well. But again, it depends on your credit profile and how they evaluate it.
Okay. And also, you said you are working on shipping to Africa as well?
Yes, so we do stores all over. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that means you are sending the product for me,
yes.
right? If I have the real estate.
That is correct.
The place. So it's just only I just need to contact you as a vendor.
Yes, but keep in mind we do not just sell merchandise. We develop a store. So if you wanted to do a store in Nigeria, for example, we would do that, and then of course you could continue to buy the merchandise through our suppliers. But we would not just sell you merchandise. We would want to come set up your store.
Okay. So the setup, okay. The interior, you're talking about the interior.
Yeah, the fixtures, signage, all of that. We would want to do all of that.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, I got a question too.
Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Are you doing in India also?
What about if you bring?
What about if
Excuse
you
me.
build the store from scratch? Do y'all help out with that too? I mean,
Sir,
or
sir,
how
just,
does that go?
sir, just a minute. The gentleman before you still had another question. So go ahead.
I mean, quick question, right? Like that other gentleman is saying about, you know, the engineer is gonna do all the stuff, and you guys gonna bring all the messaging in there, right? That means, who is building the fixing everything in that store that we own? That mean, is it the engineer or like? Can you give us more details about what is gonna happen?
Yeah, I think it would be easiest for me to talk to you directly outside of the teleseminar, because I know you're going to have a lot of specific questions which don't apply to most people.
Yeah, because that's my country, you know.
I understand.
And I
So,
want to know, like, if I'm going to invest in my country, I want to know, like, is safe and secure what I'm putting my money into.
sure.
You know,
So
that's what I'm
why don't you?
asking all
I
this stuff.
understand. So why don't you call me tomorrow and we can go over all that. You have my number?
Yeah, huh?
Do you have my number, sir?
No, I don't have your number.
Okay. Do you have something to write with? I'll give it to you right now.
Yes, sir.
It's 702
702,
637
637,
3389.
You said 3389?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a call.
What's your name, sir?
Yeah, I got a question too.
We'll go through.
What's your name?
My name is John.
John?
And we'll go through all the specifics regarding overseas stores tomorrow.
Okay, and you said 702-637-3389.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. No
Very
problem.
good. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir. Next question.
Yeah, I got a question too. Like,
Go ahead.
what about if you want to build out? You know, like build a store from scratch. I've seen a lot of your stores like that. I mean, what is the pricing and the credit score for a situation like that?
Are you talking about building the building?
Yeah.
Typically, it's not something that we get involved in. We often have customers that will build their own building and come to us, but I can tell you that we cannot secure financing for construction as well as the store itself. We don't have that. We don't have lenders that can fund at that level. So you would have to have the location ready.
Oh, so like
I have a
if
question.
it's like if I build a strip mall or something like that, right?
Yes.
And then want to put like a dollar store in there.
Right.
Y'all can fully furnish it with all the items and things of that nature.
That is correct.
And it don't matter the location or overseas, right? You guys go to any location.
Yes. Yes.
Any location overseas. Okay.
Well, I want to talk to you about that tomorrow, but the answer is yes.
What I was essentially saying was, like, before I got interrupted, I was saying.
Sorry about that, sir.
That's okay. That's okay. So
I know, right?
So I can still get y'all everything, even with the negotiation with the landlords and everything like that too. Still, right?
Yes, sir. All included.
So
you
overseas in the
you
sense.
need like 15 grand. You need like 15 or 20 grand to start.
No, I don't understand your question. When you let me start at zero. What you would need to start is the financing to do the store size that you would like to develop, along with some working capital. For example, if you wanted to do 1,000 square foot store, in finance, we're going to make sure that you have the 76,900 plus about another 15,000 or so in working capital. So you'd have about $90,000 available to you, which is what you're going to need to actually do your store. That gives you money for rent deposits, utility deposits. Maybe you have to do some flooring and paint in the space when we find it. And then, of course, the package price for the store. But we won't start to work in real estate until we know you have the funding for that amount.
Okay, but any size store, you can still have freezers in there. I mean,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, as far as the EBT and stuff like that, because I understand that brings a different type of revenue right there.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. And in training, we talk about what you need to do to have EBT, and we help you make the application and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is important.
So,
You're absolutely right.
1,000-foot store, I can still have freezers with the double doors and
Yeah,
all
I'll be honest with you. I don't encourage stores to have the freezers because it's very difficult to buy frozen product and there's no profit in it. But certainly refrigerators so you can have lunch meats, a little bit of dairy, things like that, which is all you need to take the EBT cards.
Hey, John.
Okay. So, with that being said, would you be able to buy, like, if I'm buying a skid of lunch meat, can I buy a skid of cheese, a half a skid of lunch meat, a half a skid of cheese, things that, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, would y'all be able to supply those type of things? I don't need so much. Can I get like 3 items on the skid type deal?
The commodities like dairy are always sourced locally, so you'd be buying those directly from local vendors because they can't travel long distances, obviously. So we would find a supplier in your area where you could buy your lunch meats, your milk, and cheese, and so on. So you can buy them. You buy them in small quantities.
Hey,
I mean, okay. What is small quantity? What do you mean by that?
It depends. It depends on your supplier. What would it would be whatever you choose to buy, and each supplier is going to have a minimum. So if you're buying dairy from somebody here, he may say, well, you have to have a $200 minimum order, and it can be consisting of whatever you choose. A couple kinds of cheeses, bologna, ham, whatever. It's a very specific question that I can't answer tonight.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just
because it's going to vary so much.
Right.
I don't want you. What I'm saying is, we don't want you to warehouse cheese. We want you to buy it and sell it.
I hear you. Say that again.
I got a question I want to ask. How much? What's the percentage?
This is. If I can just say something, this is very difficult if everybody's going to talk over everybody else. So it's really positive. If you can wait till somebody finishes their question and gets their answer, and then I can acknowledge the next person. That would be really great.
Okay.
Go ahead, young lady.
Okay, so my question is, I can't really hear. Hello?
Yeah, try again.
Okay, my question is, as far as once the store is open and stuff like that, like before you open your store, when you're applying for the loan, I heard you say you need about $90,000. So can you apply for an amount where you can have the extra money that you can hold for your expenses and stuff like that?
Absolutely. What we're going to do, as I say, before you go into real estate, we're going to make sure that you have those extra funds from a lender, or we won't put you in real estate. So yeah, you're going to have those extra monies available, and you don't give them to us. They're yours to hold. The only thing you're ever going to pay us in the example we've been talking about is the $76,900. So if you get a loan for $100,000 or $110,000, you only give us the $76,900. The rest of the money is yours to do with as you choose, but it's going to be obviously to operate your store.
I got you. That makes sense. Okay.
No, absolutely. And again, I apologize for all the noise.
Okay. Can I ask one question? Hello? Can you hear us? Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the overseas services means, are you able to do it in India also? Like.
Those are specific questions. I'd rather answer them outside of this call.
Okay.
But if you can give me a call tomorrow,
maybe I'll call tomorrow.
Yeah, we can talk much more specifically. That would be wonderful.
Sure. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other
John,
questions?
I have one quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, I do. I have a question. This is Yolanda again. Quick question as far as when you were stating about the credit and financing. So, when we do this, like I guess when we're applying for the financing, if we're gonna do like the credit repair on it, just because I'm like at a 689 on one of my stores and I want to get up a little bit more,
Okay.
just to get a certain amount of funding. Do you guys have like that credit repair, or like so I can get a decent amount to be able to still pay the 76 for you guys, and then still have money to buy inventory, and then whatever else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We do credit repair, and if your credit score is that high, it wouldn't be very difficult to get you up a little bit more. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very nice score. Good job keeping that credit there.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Just now getting there.
You and the rest of us.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a question. Could you pay the principal on the loan? And it's another question. Annually, what is the interest rate? Not interest. What is the interest annually profit on the store products? Do you have any type of calculation? Percentage-wise, what is the profit annually, and can you pay the principal on the loan accordingly?
Okay, two good questions. The loan question I cannot answer because the terms of all the funding is different. So whatever I tell you is going to be wrong. So I'm not going to tell you. But you'll get that answer in finance. And then as far as the profitability of the store, as I said, every store varies so much in terms of what the rent is going to be and what the potential for sales are. And that's why as we get into real estate, we're going to do a worksheet. Once we get to the final set of numbers, your lease has been negotiated, you're ready to sign it, we know what the rent is, we know everything about the location. At that point, I'll go ahead and do like a profit and loss statement for you for that particular store. So you can see it's not set in stone, but it'll be a pretty good indicator of what that store could generate for you. And then you'll know those numbers. The only numbers I can give you now, I can give you two numbers. One, the average cost of goods in a dollar store, as I said earlier, is about 54 to 55 cents. So your gross profit on product is about 45%, which is pretty darn good. And then sales per foot, in the industry, Dollar Tree, I think, reported sales last year of about $196 a square foot annually.
Is that what y'all charging, or? I understand what they charge. I understand you say square foot thing, but that's what is negotiated in the lease, right?
No, the rent is negotiated in the lease. The sales are what you generate when you open your store.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have one more.
I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to start.
All right, well, give us a call. We'll get started. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
It's like 45%.
Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Let me come back to you. This young lady has a question. We'll come back to you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, this is Yolanda again. I just have one more quick question. I don't know if you spoke about it earlier in the beginning. As far as I know you're saying we can do our personal credit, but wonder if I have for myself business credit already established with one of my LLCs. Is that possible to use that as well, or just still do both, or how does that work?
That's a good question. I can't answer that question, but finance would, and I apologize.
Okay.
So you have credit established through your business? Yeah, you may be able to go a more traditional route. But yeah, they'll get you that answer.
Okay, so just call David, because I've been working with David.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So just call him in the morning or call you in the morning just to see if
I
can go ahead and get the application.
I'll be honest, it'll be quicker for you if you call David.
Okay.
The way
that's
Sam
fine.
said it. Yeah, and he'll do a good job for you, I guarantee it.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
John, my name is Cameron. Can I present a question, please?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
John, what is the Dollar Tree was reporting the 196 per square foot per annum, or per month are they talking about?
Per annum, annually.
So that's only 196,000 on a 1,000 square foot store, right?
That would be correct. Now
And that is
keep in
NOI
mind.
or
Let me qualify that for a minute. As
Mhm.
as store footprints go up in size, sales per
Mhm.
foot tend to go down because there's kind of a law of diminishing returns. If you have a 5,000 square foot
Correct.
store and you're doing, say, $250 a square foot or $250 a square foot, if you go to 10,000, it doesn't mean you do 500 a square foot. You probably do 390 or something like that. So smaller footprint stores tend to generate a larger annual sales per foot because the product is so dense and you're maximizing everything. So, it's easy to say the 1,000 square foot store would do that 196,000. Most likely, it's going to do better because Dollar Tree, their
Understood,
sales
but
per
that
foot are based
hold
on
on,
an average.
let me understand.
Okay.
John, let me understand that. So let me ask you. I'm so sorry. So the 196, and I mean, these are all approximate numbers, right? So let's say just to round up a number, it's a 200,000 sales per year, right, per annum.
Correct.
Out of that, the NOI is 45%, right? So that gives you $88,000 is already gone on that one, right? And then after that, you got to cover up your habitat and everything, correct or no?
Well, let's see here.
So basically, the cost of goods is basically
profit is
around about
100.
54 to 45, right?
Yeah, I'm using
50.
I'm using 55 cents. So your gross profit is 110,000.
So you're saying, but that we still have to cover the other expenses like out of this, correct?
That is correct. Your
Got
rent,
it.
your
Okay.
wages, and so forth.
Right. Usually, what are you talking about? Like, after all the habitat is to cover, what are you talking about? 8 to 9% or what?
It can be 10. It can be better. It kind of there's a number of variables. Are you going to work the store full time? Are you going to have more labor, less labor? There's a lot of variables. So, and that's why I say all the conversation that we're having right now regarding the potential for a store is so speculative because we don't have a store to look at. What is the rent going to be? 1,000 square foot store here might do that 200,000. 1,000 square foot store on the other side of town might do 230, 240. And that's why our process works the way it does. Once we finalize all the terms of a lease, then we can kind of sit down and put the numbers together for you to evaluate.
Understood. John, before I let you go, may I kindly
Sure.
have your one number? I know you have repeated numerous times.
No,
may I
that's
kindly have
okay.
your number one last time, too?
Absolutely. It's 702
Yes, sir.
637 3389. And what was your name, sir? I'm sorry.
My name is Cameron.
Cameron, I'm sorry. I wrote that down, actually.
Not a problem. Not a problem. John, pleasure talking to you, and I know you're doing an amazing job, especially with all the interruptions and disturbances in the back. So thank you so much. Thank you.
I appreciate your support. I look forward to talking to you one-on-one. I think it'll be much more pleasant.
I will be talking to you tomorrow, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Cameron. Have a good evening. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
You too. Bye-bye. Yes, sir. Bye.
Yes, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So once the store is open, seasonal items, would y'all be helping us with like setting up the seasonal items, or we're on our own after that? As far as planograms, stuff like that.
Absolutely, it's a big part of our business, and we don't specifically do planograms because the store sizes vary so much. But what we do is work with you to place those orders, help you select, especially in the first year, to select what might be the best items for your store based on where you are. And then we help you schedule when those orders should arrive, when they should be put up on display, when your signing should go up, because you get a complete set of seasonal signs along with your package for every season and holiday.
Okay.
And we can always provide you with photos of displays that other stores have done in the past, which is usually the way we work. It seems to work out the best. So you can see, your plush stockings should go here, and your wrap and bows should go here, and your ornaments should go here, and so on. And a lot of the vendors even have standard displays that they can provide to you as well. So.
Okay, and another question I have as
Yeah.
far as like, I know you say that y'all don't do planograms, but like the Dollar Plus store, do y'all have like, so the Dollar Plus store is basically a store that has all the products that's not just a dollar, correct?
That is correct.
So basically, say for example, I open up and I'm gonna give you an example. They might have a new Dove product that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be my responsibility to change the planogram around, or can I hire somebody, or do y'all like provide that information with somebody that do planograms?
The product, it's a good question, and you have retail experience, I can tell. In the dollar store business, the product is going to be very flexible, and it's always going to be changing. So planograms in our business really don't work very well because, as you say, you may be buying this Dove this week. Next week there's a new flavor in Dove, so you're going to buy that. Uh, so we make the aisles much more flexible than a planogram would allow for. You know, we'll have in your store we may have 12 foot for household chemicals and 4 foot for sponges and brushes and another 8 feet for handy wipes and things of that nature. So, but the items within those categories are going to change all the time. So a planogram is just not very effective in our business because it's so flexible, I guess. If that
So
makes sense.
basically, we'll just have to freestyle our own store as
That
products come in.
that's a good word. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're always going to flex your
Okay.
store.
Okay.
But in training, we talk about how to go about that, so I have no concerns about it. It's a big part of what we talk about.
The training, is it a personal, in-person training or like a...
Well, right now it's online and over the phone because of COVID. It's very,
Okay.
a lot of people don't want to travel, and I understand that. We used to do a lot of class training, but we've also done, for about the last 10 years, we've also done the online and phone option because a lot of people just chose that. It works for them. You can be more flexible. You can do it at your own pace on your own time, and it's very, very effective. You don't lose anything by doing it online.
So
And
in
of
the
course,
training, what is basically what it covers in the training? Like,
everything regarding store operation. We review uh, first how to establish your business, apply for your business licenses and things like this. Then we get into human resources. Then we get into display merchandising and how to staff your store and how to control your sales and how to track your purchases to maintain a balanced operation. Then we get into all the vendors and who are the vendors best suited for you and which vendors are best at which categories. So it's very, very extensive and it's ongoing. As I say, once you're open, we continue to provide that support to you. Okay, any other questions?
Okay, so I have a quick question. I'm
Go ahead.
curious. I research the actual dollar store. It costs about $100,000 to be a franchise with that corporation. What makes you guys different, and what are you offering different than what the dollar store itself as a franchise is offering?
Okay, it's a good question. We have been in business longer than anyone else that develops stores, and we develop more stores than anyone else that by a very wide margin. That I can tell you. We have a very experienced staff. I've been in this industry, dollar and discount retailing for, I'm embarrassed to say, about 40 years. We've been developing stores, as I might have mentioned earlier, since 1993. We're extremely good at what we do. We don't need to make a lot of money on each store that we develop because we develop so many stores in the course of a year. I can tell you that we have the best value in terms of the cost of merchandise, The fixturing is first rate. No other company provides the interior signage package that we provide. And if you look at the pictures on our website, you'll see that. I welcome you to compare it to anybody else that you might come across. And I know there's a couple of people that do what we do. They just don't do it nearly as well, and they don't do it often. And that's what I can do. And then the biggest difference between us and anyone else, after you get through all that, is the back end support, and nobody provides that as we do.
We gonna see.
Our goal is not just to get you open. Our goal is to make sure you stay open and are very successful as you do so.
So are the merchandise similar? It seems to be that the merchandise is similar to what the dollar store itself is selling.
Well, the merchandise may be similar.
Same distributors, or what am I?
There's X amount of distributors, so there's probably some crossover. What's important is what you're going to pay for that merchandise, and you're going to pay less working through our company because we have those relationships with the suppliers, and we deliver so much volume to our suppliers each and every week and each and every year. We're always going to get the lowest tier pricing for our stores because we deliver so much business to them. There's no big differences in product. You're going to find in our stores basically the same product that you see in Dollar Tree or Family Dollar or any of the independent stores. Here's the big advantage. It's twofold kind of, and I didn't really get into this as I wanted to because it was kind of difficult this evening. But there are three components to a successful merchandise program, and it's value, variety, and new merchandise. We provide value because we negotiate the prices on each and every item that we present to our stores. So if we don't get to what we believe is the right cost, you'll never see that item. Variety, because we have about 80 different suppliers in our supplier network. You can buy no matter where you are in the country, you can buy from these suppliers. And why? Because most of our suppliers have freight caps. So where are you located, if I can ask?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay. So if there are other independent stores located where you are, they're probably buying primarily from suppliers in Houston or Dallas because it's more expensive to buy from anybody else because the freight is expensive. In our program, because our suppliers have freight caps, you can, in addition to buying from those suppliers, you can buy from suppliers in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago. So you can have product that other stores in your area absolutely cannot have because they can't afford to get it there. So it's a very distinct advantage. And then the last component of a merchandise program is new goods. And we provide to our stores information on literally hundreds of new items each and every week. And our merchandise coordinator that's assigned to your store, each and every week she's going to be getting you emails on new items that are available, and she's going to be helping you track your sales by category. So she's going to know when she gets on the phone with you that you do a better than average job in jewelry or you do a better than average job in linens. So she's going to make sure that she talks to you about the new goods offerings in linens because the way the stores work, and again, I didn't get into this earlier and I apologize because it was just very noisy and it was kind of distracting for everybody, so I kind of wanted to just get to the questions. But to have a really successful store, you've got to have new products all the time. When people come to your store, they want to buy the items that are on their shopping list. They want to buy their paper towels. They want to buy their toilet tissue. They want to buy their shampoo and conditioner. So they come in, they've got a list, they satisfy those items. But now if you show them something interesting, they're customers. So when I go into a store, and in fact this happened to me not too long ago, I went into a dollar store near my house and I had a list like everybody else has. And so I satisfied that. I put all those items in my cart. And then I saw like a really nice table runner. It was $1. So I picked it up and I put it in my cart. I said, make my wife happy. It only cost $1. And I bought a couple of toys for my grandkids, and I bought a man-made chamois to clean my truck because mine was kind of worn out. And when I was done, I planned on spending like $7 or $8. I spent like $18 because I bought items that I didn't know I needed, but they had great value, so I bought them. But when I went back to the store a couple of weeks later, or a week later, I guess it was, I did need I needed the paper towels and I needed those other consumable items, but I didn't need the table runner. I still had it. I didn't need the chamois. I still had it. But now I was looking to see, gee, what else do they have that's new? So I can build my sale again. And that's why the new goods are so important. It's like you're putting on a play every week, but your audience is the same. So you got to tell them a new joke. You got to sing a new song, or better yet, show them new merchandise. So those are things that we do that other companies just do not do because they don't have the manpower and they don't have the strength in the merchandising component to deliver that information to you. And that's, like I say, there's a cost to getting open. There's a cost to staying open. We want to make sure you stay open. So I hope that kind of.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know as far as like damaged items and stuff like that that's in our store because you can't prevent that from happening.
Sure.
Would that just be a profit loss for us? As
yeah,
as far as like that being our store.
Yeah, if something
kind of
happens.
with it's
Okay,
go ahead.
I was gonna say if something gets damaged in the store, yeah, unfortunately, it's just a loss for you. If you have something that comes in damaged, freight damage or whatever, then you have a freight claim against the carrier or the supplier, and they will take care of that. But I'll tell you,
Okay.
yeah,
And I had
often,
another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The lady, I think it was from the lady from Oklahoma, kind of what she was saying. I have that same kind of question, like as far as what you were saying would make y'all better, but the franchise, if you franchise and like damaged items and stuff, you do get credited for it. So basically, you're saying anything that's damaged in our store is on us.
That's correct.
Basically.
That's correct. And keep in mind that I'm not familiar with any of the dollar store franchises. I really don't have interest in them. But if they take back your product, keep in mind that you're paying a franchise fee every month for the courtesy of doing that. I'd rather eat the 6 or 8 or 10 items that get damaged every month and not pay that franchise fee.
Okay.
Yeah. Because now they're a partner with you forever. And their stores cost more. Any other questions?
So if there's something that got expired, is on me, right? On the owner, right?
Yes. That is correct.
Okay. And the other question I have.
I have one question here. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
So based on whatever you guys are like setting up, so what is our minimum like the most sizes of the stores you set up, like 3,000 square feet or 1,000, like?
No, we go from 1,000 to 10,000 and beyond, and most of our stores are around 1,000 to 3,000 square feet. That's where most people land.
Okay.
So can I ask another question?
Sure, go ahead.
If for 1,000 square footage, how many employees do you think it needs?
Okay, good question. 1,000 square foot store is going to require about 72 work hours per week. Now, if you're an owner operator, you're probably going to work about 40 some hours a week. So that means paid hours, you'd have another 24 or so that you would have to pay.
I see. Okay. And that will be more. The 72 hours will be even for any size, right? Even if it's bigger size, or it will be.
Well, at some point, no. At some point, you would have to add some more work hours based on size. For example, 1,000 to 1,500 or so square feet, 72 hours works great. At 2,000, you probably need about 100 work hours. And then I think at 3,000, we usually estimate about 130 or so work hours, because you're busier, so you need a second cashier. You need maybe a part-time stock person to receive the freight and so forth. So it varies a little bit, but a larger store can support more salary.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for taking the time this evening. Any other questions?
Yeah, can I have David's phone number too?
Yeah, hold on just a minute, and let me get it.
Okay.
I won't give you his home number because he's probably asleep, but I'll give you his work number. Let me know when you're ready.
That'll be good. Okay, I'm ready.
702
702
637
637
2694.
2694.
And
Okay,
what was,
thanks a lot.
you bet. What was your name? I'll let him know that you'll be calling.
Yeah, my name Evan Woods. I got your number too.
Okay, good.
I just wanted to know security. So you said 623, right?
Let me make double sure. Let's see.
702 623
637 2694.
637
Right. 2694.
2694. Yeah, I'm ready to get involved, and let's get this show on the road.
Excellent. Excellent. We're ready for you.
Yeah. I understand the numbers, so y'all don't do multiples at one time, though, do y'all, for one person?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Y'all don't open up multiple dollar stores for one person at one time, do y'all? At one time.
If that's in your plans, absolutely. Or you want to open one and then do a second one once you get that first one up and running. Yeah. In fact, I've got a gentleman right now. That's what we're doing. He just opened his first store, and we've been looking for a second one.
Okay, and y'all will go to, like, if I got somebody in another area where I want to open up in another city or another state, y'all go that route too?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. We'll do whatever you ask us to do within reason. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Have a great evening. Any other questions?
Yes.
Is
this on the recording? Can I go back? I just joined. I'm a little late. I have something come up.
Yeah, no, we'll email out the recording probably Saturday or Monday.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll get it. We'll email it to you, and then if you have questions, of course, give me a call or give your store representative a call.
And this is Quinn again from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as far as doing the research, trying to find a proper location, what is the, what are the mileage as far as being away from another Dollar General or Family Dollar? Do you know, or is that something that comes down the line when
Well, no, that's a good question. And what we do, it's going to vary depending on where you are and the population and how many stores are in your market. What our goal is always to try and do is, you have a Dollar General that's 10 or 12,000 square feet. You have a Dollar Tree that's about the same size. So what we know is so maybe there's a Dollar Tree 1.5 miles in one direction, and there's a Dollar General 1.5 miles or 2 miles in the other direction. What we know is now there's a pocket where neither one of them can justify putting in a store because they need so much population to support it. But a smaller store, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 square feet, can do very nicely and be the most convenient option, especially if you have a good set of tenants in your shopping center with you. So we look so the distance is less important than making sure that you have a kind of a dedicated market for your store, if that makes sense. So what we do is we try and place stores where we know a competitor is very unlikely to come in because they can't justify it, and you can do a very nice business.
Okay. I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do y'all deal with e-commerce innovation? E-commerce?
Some of our stores do it. I'll tell you, it's kind of difficult, and I'll tell you why. Setting up the website and loading all the information on the website, that's very doable.
I don't mean like that. I mean in the stores. Like, I used to work for Amazon, right?
Okay.
And I was like shopping.com. I'll be in the store, like, we have a phone, the order comes to the phone, and we already in the store, Whole Food store, stopping for that person. We put the order on the shelf, and somebody pick it up and take it to the.
Okay.
That's the way Amazon.
Yeah, certainly that's something that you could do.
Okay, that's innovation. Okay, that's good. That's good. My idea as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes,
my name is Layati. And you said that you guys get $76,000. That's the payoff, correct?
That's the cost of the store.
Okay, depending on the store. So then, until that is paid, we don't generate any revenue?
Well, no, you're going to pay that before we set up your store. You're going to get a loan for that.
Okay, then pay that up front.
Yeah, and then you're going to pay back the loan, depending on what the terms are of the loan with the lender that you end up working with. You're going to pay that each month out of the proceeds of the store.
Got it. That's all.
Okay, very good. Thanks for
Okay,
your time
now,
this evening.
Go
ahead.
How many hours do we, the owners, have to put in a week to make sure that our store is running properly?
That's entirely up to you. You can be absentee, or you can work the store full time. It's really kind of up to you. Now, if you don't work the store full time, you're going to have to hire somebody to work some more hours. That's going to impact your profits, obviously, because now you're paying somebody else instead of paying yourself. But there's no requirement on our side. If you wanted to be fully absentee, the only thing I always recommend is that you keep the ordering responsibility for yourself, which will take you about 4 hours a week to order merchandise every week. And a lot of owners do that. In fact, what they'll do is, so maybe you're going to do a store, maybe you're going to do a 1,500 square foot store, and you've got a job and you like your job and you want to keep it for a while, and then kind of slowly transition into maybe working your store full time as it gets better established and so on. You'll make that decision. So they might be willing to take a little less profit out of the store and pay somebody to work it for them until they feel that they're ready to make the jump and be a full-time store owner or a store operator.
Okay, so this is a good idea or good opportunity for someone who wants to work for themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the one thing that I've learned over the years, I work for a company now, but I own my own businesses for quite a few years. And what I learned is that it's always better if you can control your own destiny. And you're not dependent on somebody that may have a dip in their business and they're going to lay you off or put you on half-time or, or your company will merge with another company and all of a sudden they don't need you anymore. I mean, sadly, all those things happen. Better to be operating your own business and control that for yourself rather than be at the mercy of somebody else. Always better.
Okay. And one last question.
Yes.
As far as the payroll, do you guys help? Do you have a system where we can pay our payroll, our employees, or is that something we have to do?
We actually have a company that a lot of our stores use. It's called ADP, and in fact, we use them here ourselves. They're very, very inexpensive, and they have all different packages that you can choose from. For instance, they can do just your payroll, or they can do your payroll and your sales tax returns each month if you have a state that has a sales tax. Or they can do both of those things and do your end of the year reporting. So they're very flexible, and as I say, it's very inexpensive. And the big thing is, it's done right. I had my own businesses years ago, and I used a company very much like that because I wanted to be out in the business. I didn't want to be doing the bookkeeping. So I felt it was better for me to pay somebody to do that and have it be correct than have me do it and have it be wrong. Right. So yeah, it's very cost effective, and you know that it's done properly.
Oh, Aaron's in my bag. Just killing.
I'm right there with you.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, when we do open up our stores, I know you kind of got into everything as far as what y'all provide. Do y'all do like the safety stuff and like U-boats, dialers to take in trucks and all that stuff? Do that come with our package?
When you say safe stuff, are you talking about like distancing and all of that?
Like not for COVID, not anything related to
Okay.
COVID, but I'm gonna give you an example. Like kind
Yeah.
of like what is the word I want to use? It's kind of basically the guidelines to safety for
Oh,
your
yeah.
employees
Oh,
because
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's all in training. You get all of that. In fact, we give you
okay, so they're gonna set up. So,
yeah,
so basically, they're gonna set up all of that and explain all of that.
yes, and we give you a store manual to use too that has all of that information in it.
Okay. And as
These
far as the
people
truck,
so freaking rude.
when we order our inventory, will our truck be a certain day or will a truck date change?
No,
just
you
call
order
on them.
you order as you need it. We'll set up an order schedule for you, but you order your goods as you need it. Excuse me, can you mute your phone, please? Please mute your phone if you're not asking a question. Sir? Thank you. You order your product as you need it, but we'll set up a check and order schedule for you so that you check. Say you have 12 suppliers that you use in your store. Each week you'll check 3 of them and order if necessary. So merchandise is always coming into your store, and it keeps your store full all the time.
Okay, so quick question.
Yes.
When I'm going through my process, because I kind of know how I want my store to be.
Mm-hmm.
I want a dollar store with a dollar plus because I don't want to just sell dollar items. I also want to deal with vendors, and I also want to do like cigarettes.
Okay.
So do I let y'all know so y'all can kind of know how my layout is gonna be? So when I do open my store, I can get with like the vendors that provide the cigarettes and Frito-Lay and Coke and
Yes.
Pepsi, so they can. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to let us
Okay.
know. And as importantly, if you're going to do tobacco as one example or lotto, you have to let us know
Yeah, I
when
want
you
to do
start to look at
lotto.
locations because we have to make sure that's in your lease that you can do that.
Okay.
Mr. John.
Awesome.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I got one question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, please, I came in newly now. How long I just joined this club?
Okay.
I wanted to get some information. You said you're going to get a loan for us depending on our credit score.
Yes.
You make an example that, for instance, you put a 100,000 loan.
Mm-hmm.
We will give 6,000 to you, and the 24 will be whatever I want to do with it. But the question is, what is your commission? What are you gaining from this? I don't know. What are we paying? What are we going to give back to you?
What is the commission?
Yeah, what are you taking? What is your gain?
I can't understand. Nothing he's saying.
You're asking how much money do we make?
No, what are you getting from us?
I'm afraid I don't understand your question, sir. I'm sorry.
Right, because I don't understand either.
Let me see. Let me get this. Let me put this another way. The question is,
it's very hard to hear you.
The question is, let me rephrase it. If I believe you are into business doing this for media, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, if you are helping us to secure a loan, get our shop set up, so what are we giving back to you? What are your gain? Like if we do franchise, we don't want to pay monthly return to
Your
them.
fees? Is it his fees? What fees is he charging to help us get into this?
Yeah, that's a maximum for your fees.
No, there are no fees that are paid to us other than the purchase price of the store. No fees, no royalties afterwards. You pay your loan back to the lender, and out of your loan you pay us the price of the store one time, and that's it.
Come on, baby. So so when we pay you for the store, is that including the rental space too?
No, you pay the rent.
Or that's on the side?
You're going to pay the rent out of the proceeds of the store.
Out of the loan, the financing that we get, that you can probably, it's possible for us to get the money to cover the cost to pay for the leases.
No. You're going to pay the rent out of.
They don't understand.
I know.
Okay.
You're going to pay, the
Well, I
store is going
wasn't
to pay
here.
the
I'm
rent.
sorry. I
That's
just
okay.
came in.
No, I understand. The store, the sales of the store are going to pay the rent and rebuy the merchandise and pay you.
Okay,
So,
got
yeah,
it.
you don't want to get a loan for the rent for a 5-year lease or a 3-year lease. There's no point to that. The business is going to pay the rent.
Mhm.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, I have another question.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
In case if I come up with a location dollar store that's existing, and do you supply? Can I get supply from you?
No, it's not our business. We don't sell just merchandise.
Okay.
Because we don't own merchandise. We have a supplier network. You would buy directly from them. So that's not the business that we do.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
So basically the 76,000 is just to set up the store, not the merchandise.
No, it has includes the merchandise for you to open with. You'll have a fully stocked store.
So we have a fully stocked store.
Yes.
Then we have to be paying our rent on our own.
Yes.
Okay, so your gains is from the stores. Okay, I understand.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, I'm wondering what you gain.
Yes, I have one.
You slow down. I'm sorry. Your question, sir, is what do we gain? Oh, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
So any square footage that we end up getting, I'm gonna give you for example. Say I get the $1,000 square footage.
Okay.
So do I have to kind of divide that space into my merchandise space as well? Like for example, will my office be included in that 1,000, or like say I find a space for 1,400, would you use the 400 for like office space and bathrooms and stuff, or like how does that work?
Okay. In a lease space of 1,000 square feet, we assume that you're going to have a bathroom and you're going to have a small stockroom. So we figure in a 1,000 square foot store, about 15% of that total space is going to be for what you would call off sale, like you say, a bathroom and a stockroom. So in a 1,000 square foot store, let's see. Let me do this real quick for you. Your sales area would be about 850 or 900 square feet, and the balance of it would be the back room.
Okay. And so no office would be in that, correct?
No, I mean, we don't build an office. A lot of times the lease space will have one. And if it doesn't, you can kind of carve one out of the stock area is usually what most people do.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Because you want as much space as possible, you want to devote to selling space because that's where the money is.
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay, any other questions?
Mr. John, please, can I get the name of this fellow company, fellow company again?
Yeah, do you want...
What's the name?
I'm sorry, I lost you there.
I want to get his name again for the...
David? Do you want... Oh, yeah, do you want his number?
No, not I want the name for the payroll company.
Oh, it's ADP.
Mason, the one you mentioned.
ADP. ADP.
ADP.
Yeah, it's automated data processing is what it stands for. But they go by ADP.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna give you a call. I have the number.
Okay, yeah, please do. All right, any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You were saying something about the deposit. So what is the deposit? Is this going towards the financing to get approved, or how much is for the deposit to be put down?
The deposit just lets us get you into financing to see what you can secure. If you decide to go forward, that gets applied to the purchase price of your store. So when you actually build your store, we credit you that $500. If you decide not to go forward, at any point, you just get that $500 back. We never keep it. So one way or the other, it's yours.
Okay. That's great. Okay, thank you.
You bet. Any other questions? Well, I want to thank everybody for coming in this evening. I know it was a little bumpy there for a while, but I appreciate everybody's time and energy, and I look forward to talking to all of you. You have a great evening.